Imagine a hospital unlike any other, where children receive the most advanced medical care, where doctors and nurses have the highest levels of expertise, dedication, and compassion, providing comfort and hope for critically ill children and desperate parents. Imagine a hospital where they just treated kids better and provide critical, life-saving care to every single child that comes through their doors. Imagine a hospital on a mission to create hope and build healthier futures for children and their families. We're about to show you such a place, and it's right in the heart of the city we live in. It's an extraordinary place called Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Welcome to Children's Hospital Los Angeles. I'm Colleen Sullivan with ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Families from all across the country and around the world come to Children's Hospital Los Angeles for the high-quality care and the specialty programs and services just for kids. Everything they do at CHLA is designed to help children heal, and every donation makes a difference. You're going to hear 4 great stories of children who have come to Children's Hospital Los Angeles for critical care. Throughout this program, we're going to let you know how you can donate and help support Children's Hospital Los Angeles. It didn't appear that anything was wrong with 2-year-old Aiden Kramer. That was the conclusion given to Aiden's mother from multiple doctors. But Aiden's mother, Ashley, thought differently. Why had he broken so many bones in such a short time? Why did he complain of pain in his arms and legs? And that one morning he had trouble speaking. Why was that? Fortunately, her pediatrician put all the symptoms together and told Ashley and her husband to get Aiden to Children's Hospital Los Angeles immediately. It was there the family got a devastating answer, but a plan to meet it head on.
I made him. A-R-D-E-N. What's the cat's favorite candy? Kit Kat.
What do you call a cat with 3 legs? Tri-tip.
Aiden's sense of humor, I'd like to say I had something to do with it, but it's definitely from his dad.
I'm gonna be Superman when I grow up.
Aiden is an old soul. When I first met him, I was really surprised with how well-spoken he was. We bonded over cheesy jokes. The punnier, the better.
How do you get a tissue to the party? You put a little boogie in it and then you did a little dance.
Why did the banana go to the hospital? Because it wasn't peeling well.
Aiden is my miracle child. Aiden is an AML survivor. Aiden woke up one morning last September, and we were getting ready for school, or going to get ready for school. And he was crying, and he couldn't talk very well. And the side of his face was kind of melted, like I'm thinking, is my child having a stroke? And instead of going to preschool, we went to the local emergency room. And we were admitted. They did a lot of neurologic testing, MRIs, CT scans, all of which was extremely scary for him, extremely scary for us. So all of a sudden, my kid's saying something's wrong, and nobody can give us answers. And they said, you have to go to Children's Hospital. Like, Los Angeles, they're the ones who will give you answers. They're the ones who will figure it out. Each doctor said the same thing.
Aiden came into the hospital with a rare form of leukemia. He also came in with a very rare presentation, or the way that he came in was not something we would expect for leukemia.
When we had a diagnosis, we explained that he was in the hospital because his blood was sick. And just keeping it very simple in a way that he could understand.
CHLA embraced us when we had been kind of kicked out from other doctors, other offices, and they gave us hope. They figured out what was wrong when nobody else could.
They're very gracious and did agree to have Aiden go on to a study so that we can study more about how we can treat AML better in children.
And the statistics that applied to him at that time with everything he was showing did not look good. He had tumors and lesions throughout his body. He had bone deterioration in his hands and his arms. He had broken bones we didn't even know about, that he didn't even complain about because it was become so common. And they said, all right, let's make a plan. The morning after his mass biopsy, we were playing cars on the floor, and Aiden kind of sat back on me, and I realized his head went forward, and I was actually holding him, like as in holding him up. He went completely limp in my arms, and our entire room filled up within seconds, filled up, and it was like this ballet taking place. Everybody took their place. They knew what they were doing. They started calling out things. There was a doctor literally came in just to stand next to my husband and I, and she explained every step, what they were doing, why they were doing it. Shot of epinephrine. Epinephrine wasn't working. They're getting ready to shock him and hopefully bring him back. And my husband and I were just holding hands and we're praying, God, you haven't brought us this far for nothing. Like, you didn't give us a child when they said we couldn't have one for nothing. And he took a breath and sat up.
Like, I owed them my life. Like, they literally saved my son.
That was how their treatment began, so you could see how it would have been kind of a terrifying ordeal of, how do I come back from this? Am I gonna be able to come back from this? And they really found hope in how well he responded, and he progressed quickly back, and he was back on the floor almost the next day.
Aiden started chemo immediately. He went through 4 rounds consecutively of chemotherapy. It took approximately 6 months.
He was on isolation, and so he was stuck in his room for a while, and so they just really found a lot of different ways to help him get through it.
It was the one thing I knew every single time, whether it was a piggyback ride or whether it was a ride around on the pole when you're hooked up to your chemo. If I could get him to smile, chances are there's a lot of other people around smiling too, and that's kind of what it's really about.
He celebrated Halloween, his 3rd birthday, Valentine's Day, all of his favorite things, and all things that he would get to do if he was at home. And that's really what we strive for when we're here. We don't want them to miss out on these childhood milestones.
CHLA as a whole saved our son. From the nurses that were with him every single day, making sure he was comfortable while he took his meds, the doctors who came in every day and made sure that we knew what was going on, made sure that we understood what was going on, the child life specialist, the therapist, it just doesn't stop.
Children's Hospital has been so supportive while we went through Aiden's journey with leukemia. Having them support us as a family and as a whole absolutely played a role in Aiden getting better.
What happened when you spin a car really fast? You get whipped cream. Please don't tell kids like me.
Joining me now is Ashley Kramer, Aiden's mom. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us about your perseverance, about not giving up when doctor after doctor said nothing was wrong with Aiden.
It was really with the support and encouragement of my family, of my husband, just making sure that I didn't give up, and I kept asking the questions.
You didn't give up. Tell us, what does Children's Hospital Los Angeles mean to you and your family?
Children's Hospital, they mean the world to us. They literally helped save our child's life, and that's something that we could never say thank you enough or repay them for.
How is Aiden doing today?
He's doing fantastic. He is 10 months outside of his last dose of chemo, and he's at the point still where no sign of disease is found.
Oh, thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing your son's story with us today. And you can see the benefits of Children's Hospital Los Angeles on every family. Here's how you can help make a difference.
You can give health and hope to children like Aiden by making a tax-deductible gift to Children's Hospital Los Angeles today. By donating, you're supporting the Helping Hands Fund, which helps the hospital ensure that every child we treat receives critical life-saving care. The cost of providing the finest medical care to children is immense, and the need is urgent. So please call 1-800-GIVE-TO-KIDS or go to chla.org/TV. Please call or go online and donate now.
Joining me now is Paul Viviano, the president and CEO of Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Paul, thank you for joining us. Tell us about Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
Children's Hospital Los Angeles is a very special and unique organization. We're the only children's hospital in LA County that is devoted completely to caring for all the needs of children. We're affiliated with the University of Southern California Keck School of Medicine. We're a teaching organization. We also provide research to create new cures and new treatment for children.
Just walking the halls here, you can see Children's Hospital is just a phenomenal place for kids. Tell us, why is it so special?
We're incredibly devoted to our mission to creating hope and building a healthier future for children. We're the #1 ranked children's hospital in the state of California, and we have a devotion to caring for this entire community.
So now, if you have an extra message for our viewers who are watching on why it is so important to donate to Children's Hospital Los Angeles, now is the time.
We rely a lot on philanthropic support from the community. So please consider giving to Children's Hospital Los Angeles at chla.org/TV.
Kennedy Lanier's mom expected her newborn daughter's first ride would be in the backseat of her car on the way home from the hospital. But that all changed when doctors had to deliver Kennedy by emergency cesarean section after discovering that her heartbeat had stopped in the womb. Born 9 weeks early as a result and diagnosed with a rare combination of birth defects, Kennedy would not be driven home, but instead transported by emergency helicopter to Children's Hospital Los Angeles with her life in the balance.
After you have your baby, you expect to hold the baby. You expect to see your baby and know that your baby's okay. For me, I didn't get the opportunity. She was transported here to Children's Hospital. It was really difficult. It was really difficult because I didn't know if she was gonna make it. I didn't know that by the time I came down to LA from Lancaster if I was gonna have a baby. I didn't sleep the whole night. I was scared. I was genuinely scared. Like deep down inside, my heart felt like it was taken out and transported here with my baby.
Premature babies come to us because they have some other complication. The majority of our premature babies come for either birth defects that are not necessarily associated with prematurity and or surgical complications of prematurity. We admit a total of between 650 and 700 babies, neonates and infants to our unit every year, and among those, probably about 50% are premature. I think here at CHLA, we see a lot of babies with not just one, but multiple different birth defects, many of which require surgery and multi-specialty care. The important thing to think of is that part of the beauty of our NICU here is that we see rare complications commonly. So similar to a lot of babies that end up being transferred to our unit, Kennedy needed fairly emergent transfer. So she was transferred to our hospital very shortly after birth.
She had what was called an esophageal atresia, where her esophagus and stomach doesn't connect.
Kennedy, at the time she was born, was 30 weeks, so 10 weeks early. She was quite premature, and then she was also quite small, with not just her birth defects, but also immature lungs, immature skin, lots of things that, because she's not in the womb, that we sort of try to replicate outside of the womb.
Just carrying a child, you want to make sure that this child inside of you is healthy and growing properly and everything's happening the way that it's supposed to happen. And you don't expect any curveballs. You don't expect for your baby to be born with illnesses or serious conditions that are going to keep them in a hospital for the first year of their life. Every day coming through these hospital doors, You feel a certain weight like on your heart, because who wants to keep walking in and out of these doors and not be bringing their baby home with them? The nurses and the doctors here at Children's Hospital Los Angeles really give you a boost of confidence. I feel like this hospital is the best in the state. She's just growing up to be just like the most amazing baby like that I could ever have in my life. She always has a smile on her face. You walk in and she wakes up and she's like smiling at you, and you're like, even if you're in a bad mood, even if I go in there and I'm like sad, or if I've been crying, I go in there and I'm immediately smiling again, because she never lets me be sad. I want her to grow up healthy, and I want her to do her best when it comes to school and just life. I know how hard it is, I know how hard it's gonna be. I just want her to grow up and not be worried or feel like she's ever alone. I want her to always know that I'm here for her regardless. Please donate to Children's Hospital Los Angeles to help other babies like my daughter Kennedy.
I'd like to introduce Joanne Reyes, Associate Vice President of Development at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Joanne, how can people help?
It's so important for us to let the community know that Children's Hospital Los Angeles is the leading provider of medical care for children in the state of California. We are asking people today to donate in support of our Helping Hands Fund at Children's Hospital Los Angeles by visiting chla.org/TV. The Helping Hands Fund is a special resource that helps our hospital ensure that every patient we treat receives the critical, life-saving care they need. It's the generous support of individuals in the community that helps CHLA lead the field in providing compassionate care for children. The cost of providing this finest medical care to children in the community is immense, and the need is urgent. So please visit chla.org/TV and donate today. Your donations can and will make a difference.
You can give health and hope to children like Kennedy by making a tax-deductible gift to Children's Hospital Los Angeles today. By donating, you're supporting the Helping Hands Fund, which helps the hospital ensure that every child we treat receives critical, life-saving care. The cost of providing the finest medical care to children is immense, and the need is urgent. So please call 1-800-GIVE-TO-KIDS or go to chla.org/TV. Please call or go online and donate now.
One day in April 2015, high school student Jenny Chang learned she had received a scholarship to a prestigious ballet program in Russia. But on that same day, during a visit to renowned Children's Hospital LA, orthopedic surgeon David Skaggs, Jenny and her family also learned that the abnormal curve in her spine was progressing rapidly. A week later, Jenny would have to undergo a complex spinal fusion surgery to straighten her spine. The stakes were high because of the health of her back and her dreams of a life in dance.
Oh, Jenny's a lovely dancer. She's been so committed to her ballet for so many years. She does a lovely job. She's a perfectionist, so that definitely comes across in her dancing.
I found that Jenny was losing stamina. She was having a hard time dancing for long periods of time, hard time catching her breath. Physically, you could see her body was shifting to one side. It just kind of progressively got worse.
When I found out I had scoliosis, I think I was mostly in shock when I heard I needed surgery. The scoliosis was starting to affect my lungs, so that would hurt my stamina and breath control in ballet. And when my mom first noticed it, I think she wanted to see how intense the curve was. So we went to Dr. Skaggs at CHLA. He recommended I get surgery right away because I think my curve was either 68 or 71 degrees.
Once scoliosis reaches 50 degrees, there truly are no other ways to treat it except for surgery. If surgery is not performed, the child is destined to go on to have worse deformity, more likely to have back pain, and unable to take a full breath for the rest of her life.
She knew that if she wanted to continue dancing and be without pain, that was the only option for her.
When we got to the point that there was no other choice, we had to take it. Dr. Skaggs explained the procedure in detail, what would happen.
Once we decided to have the surgery at CHLA, everything became much more clear and the stress was alleviated in the sense that we know CHLA is a great hospital. We felt very secure knowing that Jenny was going to be in good hands.
This is one of the bigger surgeries done in human beings today, and the possible risks are quite serious. We peel the muscles off the spine, so we're looking at the vertebrae, and we put in screws at each vertebrae that function as anchors, and then mechanically put a rod in those screws and bend and straighten the rod until the spine is straight. And while there's very large forces at work to literally change the shape of a human body, this is done safely every day at Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
The surgery went very well, and that was a big relief.
The first week in the hospital was pretty rough, but I think it was really good that the nurses forced me to get up and walk 3 times a day. Dr. Skaggs supported me going back to ballet and preparing for my summer programs.
Now, most kids take about 3 months after surgery before they really fully compete in sports, but Jenny has an amazing spirit, amazing dedication, and she just wanted to dance. She was dancing 3 weeks after surgery.
Interacting with all the nurses and therapists and surgeons really sparked my interest in medicine. I wanted to do Camp CHLA because it's so famous for their pediatric care, and they have really renowned surgeons there. I loved watching all the presentations because they gave you in-depth information about each job. I want to work at CHLA because during the camp, a surgeon really inspired me because she said that being a surgeon doesn't have to take over your life. You can still maintain a family and have a social life and everything.
At Children's Hospital Los Angeles, we want kids to be kids, and we want them to enjoy life. I think deep down the children that we take care of are not just better physically, but they're better mentally and they're happy after they leave our hands.
You can give health and hope to children like Jenny by making a tax-deductible gift to Children's Hospital Los Angeles today. By donating, you're supporting the Helping Hands Fund, which helps the hospital ensure that every child we treat receives critical life-saving care. The cost of providing the finest medical care to children is immense, and the need is urgent. So please call 1-800-GIVE-TO-KIDS or go to chla.org/TV. Please call or go online and donate now.
In October 2009, Megan and Christopher Pearson welcomed daughter Sailor at a local hospital near their home in Newport Beach. Sailor was born 6 weeks early and was found to have a rare heart defect along with a pulmonary abnormality that was depriving her tiny body of sufficient oxygen. Setting aside their fear and confusion, Sailor's parents did their research, reviewing several pediatric hospitals. They decided on Children's Hospital Los Angeles, entrusting the care of their daughter to eminent cardiothoracic surgeon Vaughn Starnes, who would steer Sailor through multiple life-saving procedures in just the first few weeks of her life.
The neonatologist came down and said, "Mrs. Pearson, I have some bad news. We believe your daughter was born with a severe heart defect." And my mother-in-law and my mom were in the room, and we looked at each other and we're like, "No, that Sailor was just born, she looked great." I thought they had the wrong child.
That was just a shock to us. We didn't have any clue what a heart defect really even was.
Day 2 of her life, that's when we heard horrible news that we didn't know if she had any connection between her heart and her right lung. At that point, we did not know if Sailor would survive. She was airlifted up to Children's Hospital LA at day 5 of life.
She came to Children's Hospital with a very complex form of tetralogy of Fallot, where the pulmonary artery arising from the right ventricle doesn't connect normally to the lung.
It was very clear pretty soon after we started asking questions and researching that Children's Los Angeles was the only place for Sailor.
Dr. Starnes actually did a very novel surgery.
During the first stage of her operation, we had to make a pathway from the right ventricle to the lung. And then the left pulmonary artery was so small that we hooked it into her artery of her arm in order to get it to grow.
We just took it minute by minute, and she was in the hospital for 28 days.
Sailor she is a fighter.
You just have to choose not to live in fear, because fear will take you down.
About an interval of about a year, we brought her back and we put all the arteries together and put in a tube from the right ventricle out to her now reconstructed pulmonary arteries to make it physiologically normal.
All her surgeries have unfortunately been complicated in some way or another. None of her post-op recoveries have been smooth, and yet somehow she's able to weather it.
Looking at where we started with Sailor in life, and then looking 5.5 years down the road, we never imagined one of the best heart surgeons in the world sitting down with us and saying, her heart is functioning the way we want it to function. She's been in the hospital now over 425 days.
You know, we're just so grateful for the team, the professionalism, and the doctors, the surgeons, and the staff too, the nursing staff.
Having a child born with a congenital heart defect, you are never out of the woods. That's why you really have to rely on wonderful doctors and wonderful nurses.
We're 4110 strong!
It was a huge milestone for us just to see her normal and to see her in the outdoors, having fun, unattached to oxygen.
She's in a good place. Her heart has been completely repaired. I think she has a very good prognosis overall.
Show us those CHLA muscles.
Sailor strong.
Sailor strong.
Wow! Oh, look at that.
You can give health and hope to children like Sailor by making a tax-deductible gift to Children's Hospital Los Angeles today. By donating, you're supporting the Helping Hands Fund, which helps the hospital ensure that every child we treat receives critical life-saving care. The cost of providing the finest medical care to children is immense, and the need is urgent. So please call 1-800-GIVE-TO-KIDS or go to chla.org/TV. Please call or go online and donate now.
Children's Hospital Los Angeles treats the smallest and most vulnerable people in our community, and it treats more children than any other hospital in Southern California. Thank you for joining us for this special program and giving to Children's Hospital Los Angeles. Your donation does make a difference. I'm Colleen Sullivan. I hope you have a wonderful holiday.